Hello, Casie. How are you doing?
I should go like this. Hi.
Hello. Welcome to Balls in Your Face Marketing, a short. We're just going to quickly talk about Jiffies and maybe a bit about Instagram stories, because you're the expert. I have to admit, I know so little about this stuff because my agency's really been focused on like B2B market, so Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on. I'm very well aware that there is this younger millennial generation who's doing a lot more on Instagram and Snapchat and all these other platforms, and would certainly at some point would love to get to them. First of all, I should also say, so everybody, this is Casie Lane Millhouse. Is that the name that you want me to go with?
Yeah, and then add the -sing because I'm married to a
okay,
kid.
yes. So I wasn't sure. And then, so you are the director of Two Lane Social.
Yes.
You organized Jiffy Festival in Malaysia, was it?
No, Singapore.
In Singapore.
So I was on the organizing team with another agency. We created this interactive exhibition. I was in charge of the workshops, bringing people in. We sold out the workshops within 48 hours. We flew in an amazing Madrid-based illustrator to actually do like workshops. We had BBH Singapore there, so like really large ad agencies that came into it. And actually MTV featured us as well, so we're really pumped about that. Yeah, it was pretty dope.
Sweet. And then you're booked to go to some other conference. That's
next
in Malaysia.
week.
That's the thing that's going on in Malaysia. That's why I was confused. Okay, next week.
Yeah. So,
cool. What are you doing there?
So I'm flying out on Tuesday night, and I'm heading to the Social Media Innovation Conference. They invited me to come speak because they were seeing what I was doing with conversational bots. One that I did with a client recently. It's still growing, but I got it from 0 to 22K. We actually use it not to sell things.
0 to 22K subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Active.
Wow. Active. Wow.
They play games within the bot, and it's just like build affinity to the brand and see if they want to download the app someday. Who knows? We don't.
Well, this is why I wanted to do a short with you, Casie, because I know you are a true mastermind when it comes to the Jiffies and Instagram and all of the stuff. And so now we're going to give you another distinction, is that you are the first female guest that we have on Balls in Your Face Marketing. The first
balls for me are raining.
The first pair of Lucille balls, so to speak.
I love that. I'm gonna Instagram the shit out of that.
Nice. Okay. Well, okay. So bring me up to speed, because I'm well into my 40s here. To me, like, even Jiffy versus GIF versus like JPEG, like that's all. I know those file formats. I don't know what we're talking about. So tell me what's going on and tell me how to do this stuff.
All right. So if you don't know what a GIF is, you've probably seen them over and over again. So a GIF is it's not a video. It's more like a moving image that keeps repeating over and over again. So it's a different file format. It's kind of the ones you see in your Messenger, or sometimes they're on BuzzFeed, where you see like little animations and it's looping over and over again. And the reason I really like that, because people are seeing this action over and over again, so they're getting like affinity, they're getting like the emotion is heightened, it's exciting, or it's like really sad, and people are using GIFs actually now to reply and respond to each other. So they're using emotions. And what one of the platforms that I used to get trending on was called Tenor, and Tenor has this emotional graph. I really believe like the future is all about emotion and the reactions to events that cause emotion. As marketers, we know this.
Yeah.
So that's why this medium and these platforms that are allowing us to do this are super, super important for building affinity with the brand, even when people really don't realize it. So yeah, That's
That's
kind of like,
interesting. Yeah, and there's lots of data that certainly that kind of backs that up, right? So, for example, there's clear data that just shows that emojis alone, when they're in an ads, tend to get a little more traction, and that does appear to be because exactly they capture emotional states
yes.
in a very quick and efficient way that we can immediately relate to. So, exactly, if you're pairing the right mood with the right language, it becomes that much more effective. So I'm not at all surprised. And same thing, you know, with videos, you know, my experience with that has certainly been that when you pair the right imagery with the right language, retention goes way, way, way up. So this is very interesting. And so how are you using them, or how do you get sort of traction with these in an effective way?
Yeah, so I did a little mini experiment on myself. I love GIFs, and I was just, I got a lead come in, which is a big brand, and I would love to work on this project. Initial emails were show me results. I'm a new ad agency. I don't have results yet. So I had to fucking hustle. So I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to show people like how I can get a brand in front of people in a fun and like delightful way in LinkedIn messaging, on Facebook, I guess we can cut there. My question was like, how do I get a brand in front of people in a fun and really delightful way? Because that's kind of who I am. And that's what the brand is looking for as well. And how do I do that inside LinkedIn Messenger? How do I do that in Facebook? How do I do that in Messenger? How do I do that in Twitter? How do I do that on the keyboard, tenor keyboard? And eventually in Instagram stories. So what I did is I said, okay, I can do this with GIFs, because that's what I've been using in my chatbots with these little games and fun experiences. I hired a videographer here in Singapore. He actually lives like, I can walk to his house. We just recorded over a green screen, and then he sent me a Google Drive. It was so nice. It was just like all organized and like what the emotions were. And then I edit it with a yellow background because one, my last name is Millhouse. And The Simpsons is like one of my favorite GIFs. And the one that goes like, shit keeps popping up Millhouse. That's one of my favorite GIFs, because like every time I'm having a good week or things are like popping, I use that GIF a lot. Okay. So I used the yellow background and kind of tinted my hair a little bit more, so it has that like Simpson-y vibe. So I used like, I love the color. And then what I did is I had to upload everything into Jiffy. And then I realized, oh, fuck, shit, I don't have a verified account, so that people can't search for my shit on Jiffy. So I was screwed. But I know if you have a branded and a verified account, people would be able to share the Jiffy GIFs. And that's what I would be doing with this branded partner. Then from there, I took those like little GIFs and then I popped them into Tenor. I actually did a lot of hashtag research as well on Jiffy and in the emotional graph. So you just try to figure out what are the ones that people are using so much, and then kind of like do like longer extended ones, kind of like, you know, like SEO and even like the hashtag laddering that we do with Instagram. So from there, I uploaded 40 of them. I think it was like 40 of them onto my like personal Jiffy. Then I re-uploaded those into Tenor and then used those hashtags. And then I used my name, Casie Lane Millhouse-Singh, so that I could start easily searching it, because that is what really gets it going. Okay, so once you can search it on your own, then you're like, hey guys, you start like, I started like going and popping into like Facebook Messenger and like popping into my friends and then popping into LinkedIn. And it actually, like the past 2 days, every single new LinkedIn Connect that I had, and I had like over 150, I think, like in the past like 2 days, every single person I would send them that GIF.
Right.
And they were like, what is going on? it's fucking brilliant. Not brilliant, but the platform is so brilliant. Like, I'm not saying I am. This platform. Yeah.
And so, so it's letting you track.
I'm not done. So from there, I also went into Telegram. So Telegram app too, and I started messaging people in there. Then I saw Tenor sent me a notification, hey, you are trending for this keyword. Nice. So then I saw, okay, so I'm trending for a really long like hashtag.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, then it got shorter and shorter and shorter. And now I'm trending for what the fuck. I'm trending, like if you go in what WTF and you go in it and you scroll, you will see this yellow and blue shit pop out. People are starting to use it. I'm also like, what the fuck, man? And not the high yet. I really hope I get high, but yeah, so that's kind of how it works.
Okay, so that's really interesting, and that's really cool, because that's funny that like right on the heels of me talking about SEO for video, turns out that what you're just telling me right now is that the principle is the same. That it tends to be people's mistakes, that they tend to try to put in titles that are, you know, really short and concise, but in fact it's the longer ones, and you're leveraging those longer tags, those longer titles or long tail tags to get the shorter ones. So that's a really sweet tip, I think, for people to know, and to understand that that seems to be sort of a search engine optimization strategy that applies across the board. That's good info, I think, for people. So this is great.
And I'm not sharing this part of it anywhere else. Like, I'm only sharing it in this interview. Like, I haven't shared this with anybody else outside of like my team.
Oh, so thank you. So this is a BYIF special.
Nobody else is going to know. Like, only if they're watching this on your website. We're going to start over on Jiffy because I want to put this in the context of somebody that's working with a brand. And this is actually something I'm going to be pitching to personal brands and coaches. Okay. I think there's a huge opportunity. We've seen what like Gary Vee is doing. And I'm like, I'm actually going to try to get my content in front of Gary Vee somehow, some way. Anyways, we want to start with Jiffy because they have like a partnership platform where if you tag a username and then tag to search, you can search within a different.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Verified channel, and you only verified channels are the ones that show up when you're searching in like Facebook or anything like that. So let's see. So they have like different categories. One is for like artists, so it's really great if you're like an illustrator. This would be really good for any branded stuff to work with an artist. It's just because they could get this verified account really quickly, and you could do collabs. Then if you have your own branded one, your content can be seen. So you would just create a brand channel here. You can all see my personal email. Please don't use that. So you just create a brand channel. You fill it out. Sometimes you get approved right away. Sometimes they might like email you back, ask you what you're about and stuff like that. But just say, hey, we're an agency, we're working with this brand, blah, 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 blah. So I think when I worked with JIFest, we set up one really quickly. I think it was only like within 24 hours and we had a verified account. The best part about that is that actually helped us get PR as well, because it kind of like the websites could embed the GIFs straight into their articles and made it really easy for them. Right. So from there, everything is pretty much the same when you're inside this platform. And here's the GIFs that I uploaded for my personal brand here. And this is one they're making fun of me. Another like partner and actually part of my team now They're making fun of me and they sent me that stuff.
That's great.
Now, this is like the major thing here. When you upload it into Tenor, so recently Tenor was bought by Google. So for those of you who don't know, this is now a Google product. And they bought it because it has this emotional graph. So it's pretty cool when you look at it. So all you need to do is you sign in, you log in, and you get a profile. You upload. You could even take the URL from here, which is probably boosting the virality of it anyways, because you're using the same GIF from Jiffy and just popping it in here.
Right.
I'll just do another. I actually want to get, I'll just do this one. Okay, so what you can do is you could just copy the link.
Yeah.
And then you pop it into here. Okay, so I'm going to put in hugs, warm hugs.
Right.
I love hugs. And I'm doing this, I didn't do any like research. I'm just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, appropriate tags. Got it.
Yeah.
Love you.
I love you.
Gotcha. Great.
From there, you can, I can't remember how many you could put in, but I don't do that many. And then I would put my name. And for some reason, and even when people type in my full name, like it will pop up.
Right. And so when you do this on behalf of a brand, then you're putting in their name.
Yeah, so you'd put in their name. You would probably want to do a specific keyword so that you can search for that campaign.
Right.
Maybe like add a number into it or something. So you're searching for how this goes.
Gotcha.
So now this is my entire page.
Okay.
What you'll notice, I'm going to take this. What I want to show people too is that people can share this with their friends. Like it has a sharing link.
Right,
so
right.
Some ideas I might like, I noticed this when I did like share cards within the bot, that it confuses people. So like you could even have like a mini clip of like share with a button pointing to that one. That's just some of the ideas.
You know what you should do is well, wherever you put it, do like tag a friend who. Have you ever seen like I've seen like a lot of those for videos, right? Tag a friend who, or it's like tag a friend and say nothing.
Yeah,
right?
Tag a friend and say nothing.
Right. So I don't know if you have any of those, but I mean, there's all kinds of like tag a friend who, whatever, and then you've got this the associate, like whatever which actually might be a neat thing for you to do, because then whatever, if you're trying to associate, like you've got a keyword for that GIF, right? And then you're saying tag a friend who, and then you reuse that keyword, then you're boosting up the association with that word. It's like you're doubling up on your keyword there.
Absolutely. So I don't know if anybody knows, but Jiffy, you can use stickers inside of Instagram. Recently, there was a racist GIF that just a random user uploaded, and it got into Jiffy, and it got into the Instagram, and Instagram like blocked it right away. And all the users are like, no, bring it back, bring it back. So like these are really things like people just like really have an affinity for, and if you're smart, if you know the future, what is that future about? It's all about emotion. This is the future of marketing.
Yeah. No, well, it's, exactly. I mean, a big part of it is connecting with people, right? And at the end of the day, ultimately, I certainly kind of hope that there's always that sort of human side to it, that at the end of the day, there is this genuine sort of human connection. And I think that there is, like, we certainly talked about that a bit on the show, that sales is ultimately personal. We've also talked a lot about sort of this being real with people, and it's through emotion. And that's actually something, that I really like feel strongly in, that I think strong marketers are ultimately, like, the real skill set is empathy.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's really the ultimate means of communication.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do. We're communicators. So it's interesting. It's cool. It's funny how, like, exactly like I said at the top of this, there's a side of which, a lot of these things are strategies and stuff that I haven't been using yet. And again, I know appeals to a younger generation, but really at the end of the day, after this conversation, it's funny again how sort of common and consistent the principles behind it in terms of what and the strategies and what's being effective in terms of search engine optimization. And obviously, yeah, this is a really cool tip. I think this is really nice, and thank you for sharing that with people, because exactly like you said, this is a completely organic, no ad spend approach. And they're fun. People clearly use them because they're fun, and you are clearly having fun with them.
Yeah. I think the challenge is really integrating a brand without being so in your face. I want to see real people. Like the funniest ones are like people that I don't even know. Like, who is this kid? Like falling down like 10 million times. Like, it's hilarious.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
I guess I don't have a call to action or anything. The only really call to action is I would love to work with any partners. You guys are all marketers, and I'm a customer. Like, I'm a customer because I need to hire talent as well on my team.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you want to work in something like this, please come to me, because I'm always hiring. I'm always looking for cool people. Or if you want to partner with me in doing something that is forward thinking and innovative, please reach out to me. I would love to work on more stuff.
And well, I mean, and you've got an article, I think, out on this subject, right? Fairly recently. So we'll certainly, any other links and stuff like that on this, or how-tos and so on that you've got out there. Absolutely, when we post this live, I'll throw in the links underneath, so everybody look down below for a link to Casie's article on this stuff. She truly is a mastermind when it comes to Instagram stories, Jiffies, and yeah, I think what you're talking about is really interesting, by the way, in terms of, it can be used as a brand ambassador side and all these sides. I mean, this is what I think people need to understand about how much our industry has changed now, and how much this is, I don't know about you in terms of what your full sort of agency background and so on, but it's funny how it's describing what we do now, I find very hard. Right? It's constantly changing. It's like, well, I'm a funnel builder, or I'm a growth hacker, I'm a marketer. I'm using all the traditional terms and all of these new words. And the reality is it's all of us really just kind of there's so much going on. No one person can be the master of all. I think the marketers, we're sort of we always are the canary in the coal mine, right? In terms of what's trending. We're always, it's what we try to do anyways in the first place, is push the boundaries of what's going on. And so to me, this is all that, what you're saying is exactly, it's totally normal. It's I might work for you, I might hire you, and we may be doing both at the same time. And a lot of marketers are doing this. This is the new age. And anybody who thinks that, white labeling is like a bad thing or something, no, it's actually almost like the world is becoming one big giant virtual agency of skill sets that people, and as long as the right people, you find the right team of people or circle of or community, you can tap into a lot of talent, and you are one of them. So thank you for being our first set of Lucille balls on BYIF Marketing and Sales Advice Show.
I love it.